Greetings, Truth Seekers. Today I will be reviewing Horus Heresy Book 4, Flight of the Eisenstein by James Swallow. Spoilers on, you have been warned. Flight of the Eisenstein starts the common trend of Horus Heresy stories stepping back in time, starting before the heresy, then advancing through its start and beyond. The story starts with the respected 7th Captain, Nathaniel, Garrow of the Death Guard, along with his Legion brothers, under the command of their Primarch, making ready to attack the Jorgal Xenos, assailing their battleships. They are joined by a group of Sisters of Silence, power-armored though not fully helmed women with a strange genetic quirk that makes them immune to the warp and so to direct psychic powers, who themselves hunt psychers. There is a nifty moment as the forces are gathering where Typhon, first captain of the Death Guard, is uncomfortable around them. There's an obvious reason, but if you have read the last book in this line, The Buried Dagger, an extra layer of depth is to be found. We also meet Caleb Arin, a failed Death Guard aspirant, Garrow's housecarl, and a secret Emperor worshipper. In the battle, Garrow and his company perform well, and the Sisters of Silence are important for getting to the Xenos children, who are known to be psychers. One of the creatures delivers a grave prophecy of what is coming to Garrow, staggering him, before Amindara Kendall of the Silent Sisterhood shoots the alien and the creature's corpse is collected. I really liked how both in the battle, Mortarion goes and literally drags a man out of the Xenos clutches, and how after the battle, the Death Guard have an actual culture and brotherhood. They're not one-note poison guys. The Primarch then pulls Garrow aside afterwards for an honor, because after every battle, the Lord of the Legion picks a warrior and they drink poison together, displaying their resilience. He also probes Garrow to see if he will turn, but Garrow makes it clear he will not. This honor being afforded to Garrow angers second captain Ignatius Grelgor, who feels he deserves it more than that annoying do-gooder and traditionalist Garrow, but Typhon pulls him aside and assuages his feelings, telling him that of course he is better, and this is just a plot to get Garrow to align with where the wind is blowing and hopefully rally even more men, and that Grelgor will be able to deal with Garrow if he doesn't turn. There's also a subplot where Garrow's command squad apothecary, Merrick Voyan, is exposed as being in a lodge, something that's very suspicious and earns Garrow's ire, both for being in such a clandestine organization in this age of reason, and since the lodges seem to be bandying around classified intelligence. As you may recall from the last book, the traitors gather at Istvan. In an early battle, Garrow is wounded by an enemy psyker, and Eidolon kills her with a scream that comes from a banned organ graft. By now it's clear that Garrow's loyal, but sending him down to fight while he's still wounded, and adjusting to his new cybernetic leg would come across as really suspicious, so he's made the co-commander of the frigate Eisenstein with Grogor, who of course has a complement of men and orders to kill Garrow when the time is right. Again, mixing old information with a new perspective, we get to see Saul Tarvitz's flight to warn the Loyalists on the ground, and Garrow's choice to blow up the ships chasing Saul. Soon after that, Caleb tells Garrow that he and Voyan found that Grogor is loading virus bombs to launch on the Space Marines on the planet. Garrow and Grogor argue in the ordnance room, the traitor taunting Garrow for his honor and hesitation to kill him, then the battle starts between both sides. A shot breaks the virus bomb, so the Loyalists must fall back, Caleb staying behind to vent the atmosphere, killing himself, the traitors, and the virus. Then, Garrow goes through Caleb's things and finds out his religious beliefs. Keeler and her friends arrive, and the ship sets out to flee the traitor fleet and bring word back to Terra. In the warp, many strange and terrible things happen. Garrow becomes more faithful, and this culminates in Nurgle bringing back Grogor and his men as plague reeds, with Caleb coming back as an undead monster to taunt Garrow. Because of this battle, Decius, a young Death Guard Marine, is infected as well. I really like this part because it shows the perspective of a Chaos God and how they're not people, but rather forces of evil and grand thematics, too diffuse to easily think about or act upon something like a mere ship. The damaged Eisenstein drops out of the warp, and when all seems lost, the crew blow up the engine, hoping someone will investigate. Rokeldorn's flagship, the Phalanx, detects the disturbance, and the crew are rescued, and the ship is blown up to purge the sickness. Dorn nearly kills Garrow for telling him of the heresy, calling him a liar, but at last accepts it when he has shown too much evidence to deny. Dorn takes them to Luna, where they are jailed at once by Imperial Fists and Sisters of Silence. Ironic, since they come saying their brothers are traitors, but for speaking out and on the grounds they raise regarding their bloodline, they are locked away. While they are held under suspicion that they were coming to somehow attack the Emperor through underhanded means, Decius worsens. Then he breaks out after pledging to Nurgle, becoming the Lord of Lies, a demonic terror. Garrow, Kendall, and others fight him in a desperate contest. Eventually, both Captain and Monster are ejected out into the moon, where Decius can't use all his powers, and Garrow, now one of the faithful, beheads the creature. Malkador appears for the first time in the book, along with Custodian, coming to Luna to speak with Garrow. The Master Psyker pries a bit with his powers and hints at the great disaster on Terra, saying the Emperor cannot meet with anyone. He starts collecting men and women for his own subtle uses, starting with Garrow and Kendall. Voyan renounces being a Death Guard and lodges and says he will seek a cure for the taint shown in the Nurglites, a cure for the Legion, and not wanting to see any more treachery. My favorite scene in the book is the very last one, where Keeler and Garrow pray together with Terra above them. Flight of the Eisenstein belongs in very high B tier, maybe even A. I know I appreciate it more now, going over it again. As ever, thank you for watching, and please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and always ground yourself in the sources.